Welcome to another Indie Dev Showcase, highlighting the many indie games we play here on the channel. If you'd like to submit a game for a future video, please reach out. But otherwise, let's begin. We are starting things off with Pogo Champ. Please know the footage you are seeing is taken from the early access build, but the game has hit 1.0 since this footage was done, and what you see may not represent the current version of the game. So this is a, heavily physics-based, pogo simulator. Your mission is to pogo your way through a variety of obstacles and challenges. The faster that you do it, the better your score will get, and of course you'll earn multiple stars. The stars are used to gate various levels, and as you get further and further in, your pogoing will get more and more advanced. So one of the major aspects behind Pogo Champ is trying to make things very straightforward. This is not like QWOP or some of the jankiness of, say, a Jump King or Getting Over It. The Pogo behaves, much like how you would expect a Pogo stick to behave. You'll be able to charge your jump, and how you aim and move your stick will greatly affect your ability to bounce and pogo around. Now, the main problem for me with this is that it is super sensitive in terms of your analog stick. And with all the weird issues with my controller, it meant that things were extra frustrating. But I did enjoy this one. While it doesn't quite get to the same levels of rage as some of the other games that we've seen, I think there's a very great variety of level design, and the easy to pick up and play approach does make it far more approachable and less rage-inducing compared to some of those other games. So if you're looking for a game that is more, pogo platforming rather than pogo frustration, then this is definitely one you should check out. We now turn to Grapple Dog. This is a 2D platformer starring Pablo here. When out doing some archaeology, he unfortunately stumbles upon a robot planning on taking over the world, and it's up to him and his newly acquired grappling hook to save the day. So the game itself definitely doesn't play like something like Bionic Commando. Pablo is free to run, jump, and do all kinds of swinging, as you can see right here. The game makes use of physics for kind of controlling Pablo. As you angle his swing will allow you to swing and jump further up. Now, what makes this game interesting is that, much like a lot of classic 2D platformers, the game itself is built on the normal path through each level being relatively on the easy side. And I would say it's probably maybe casual to moderately difficult in that respect. But if you are trying to find everything and actually make progress, you'll need to uncover these various gems. That's that purple icon you see in the upper left. And the gems themselves are hidden throughout each level and will take you through hidden paths, side areas, and of course mastering the grapple hook itself. This is all accompanied by a really great soundtrack that sounds like something we've heard out of a Genesis or Toe Jam and Earl game. So the main thing about this one is that, all in all, if you are a hardcore platformer fan, you've played Super Meat Boy, Ori, and so on, Grapple Dog may be a little too simplistic for you in that respect. But this is definitely a very solid core 2D platformer. I'm not quite sure if a younger audience or a less experienced audience will be able to do everything in this game, but there's definitely a lot of charm to carry your way through. And if you are looking for another 2D platform to swing around in, then I would recommend this game. We now turn to another animal-based game with Peppy's Adventure. And I can tell you there's not going to be platforming in this one. This is described as kind of an action puzzle style game. We play as Peppy the rabbit, whose entire village has been kidnapped by an evil fox. And we are going to have to save the day and outwit and outmaneuver a fox in order to do so. So the challenge of this one is that each level will require you to collect all the various, looks like lettuce here. Now, here's the important aspect of it, that this is played entirely in real time. You do have the option to rewind time as you see fit, but the fox itself will chase you as you move through the level. And in order to complete things, you'll need to figure out the exact way to move in order to manipulate the fox to either outwit him or just take him out of the level so that you are free to do everything that you need to do. You get different stars, which will in turn unlock new levels and challenges. And as the game goes on, you'll need to figure out more and more how you can maneuver and get through things as quickly as possible. You can skip levels if you're having trouble in the game, but this is definitely on the harder side, and it plays more like a puzzle game than it does an action style title. So this one, if you're looking again for a casual time, I don't think this is going to be it for you. But if you're someone who likes more challenging real-time puzzle games, then I would at least give this one a check and you may end up enjoying it. And with that said, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we have 3 more games for the showcase. If you're interested in more of my thoughts on design, then check out my game design books. For entry-level students, we have 20 essential games to study, and then the Game Design Deep Dive series that takes an extensive look at different genres, with more coming soon. We now have Elven Warmaiden. This was a game that we played with the developer watching, and in our first play of it, I actually broke the game due to a bug on stream, which I believe caused the designer's spirit to leave their body for a few minutes when that happened. But this is a auto-battler roguelike. We play as Warmaidens trying to stave off invasions from all manner of characters, different fantasies, and even just various objects and vehicles coming to get us. In this one, each Warmaiden that you hire will come with different perks. And if they are killed in combat, as long as you win the battle, they'll come back to life, but they'll suffer a negative debuff perk as well. How you grow the characters is dependent on what weapons and gear you give them. Every weapon will come equipped with a unique perk. If that character uses the perk or that weapon enough times, they'll unlock that perk to become permanently associated to that character. This can be everything from recovering health, doing special moves, armor, teleporting, and all other crazy things. And you can combine the same weapon in order to get a higher quality variant of it. And as you go on, you'll be able to upgrade your shop to get better gear, and kind of the challenge of this game is keeping pace with the enemies while growing your little company of Warmaidens and making sure they have the latest and best weapons and gear in order to compensate. Now the main problem with this one, as per kind of the auto battler MO, is that you really don't have any direct control. So if you're trying to, let's say, target someone specifically, let's say an annoying healer or ranged character, you're at the mercy of what the AI does in order to beat them. And this is one of those games where you will win until you don't. And when that happens, it's very hard to recover, because every time your characters get knocked out, they get a new debuff, and you'll have to keep playing in order to get kind of through. If you have too many enemies get through your group, that's where that 100 in the upper right hand corner gets to, you're going to lose. Now in terms of the kind of roguelike nature of it, you are at the mercy of what weapons and gear are going to show up in the shop, and I don't think there is a ton of variance, at least in the version that we played, that keeps the game being different each time. You can unlock new gear that can show up in subsequent runs as you play through. But the mechanics and the basic systems here are pretty solid. If you're someone who's looking for the latest and greatest roguelike, I don't think Elven Warmaiden is going to get that far. But if you're looking for something that's definitely more on the casual side, or something you can play, in an afternoon or on a rainy day, I would definitely check this one out and at least give it a look to see how the various weapons and progression work. We now have Strange Horticulture. This is a kind of, I guess, mystery meets plant shop simulator. Think along the lines of Papers, Please, but without all the brutal life or death nature. We play as a horticulturist in a magical world where plants have all manner of unique properties to them, and we are taking over our shop here from a deceased family member. But while it's all fun and games, watering our plants, taking care of our cat, and trying to earn a living, there are mysterious things going around in this world, and you'll have to try and solve them the best that you can. So the gameplay loop here is that each day you will manage your shop. As customers come in, they will complain of various ailments or request a specific plant or type of plant, which you will need to figure out using your various books and guides. In order to uncover what's going on in the world, you'll have to go on investigations using various clues that you'll uncover throughout the game, and this will unlock more of the mystery, as well as unlock more plants, which again will allow you to then sell more, earn more money, and make more progress like that. If you're hoping for kind of a hardcore, I guess, plant shop simulator, then this game may not be the best for you. But it is definitely a very interesting story with a theme and setting we normally don't see. If you're looking for a kind of very cozy game to play that also has that little tinge of a mystery to it, then I definitely recommend this game. For our last game of our showcase, this is Deflector. Please note the footage you are seeing is taken from its early access and most likely does not represent the current version of it. So this was a game that we checked out about I think a year ago, maybe a little bit less than that, for those of you watching this video right now. This is an action roguelite. It's stuck in the microverse. We are exploring, trying to collect various DNA and research while all manner of micro monsters are trying to deal with us. So what makes this game kind of stand out is that you'll collect different DNA strands from enemies, which you can then attach to your character, changing its properties, weapons, and more. Your weapon is this kind of scythe/shield that you'll gain more damage with it by properly timing your shield bounce so that it bounces off of that, as you can see right there. As you'll play, you'll unlock additional DNA types and things that can show up in the world, and you'll have to of course match with all the various enemies and monsters coming to get you. From our time spent with this one, the gameplay felt really good with the different weapons and abilities that you'll pick up, and there is certainly potential here for fans of an action roguelite. In terms of any issues or nitpicks that I had with it, there really wasn't anything, at least at the time of playing the early access build. This is one of those games that, depending upon your own skill at action roguelite and roguelike games, will greatly determine the difficulty of it. And I have not played it since, so I don't know what has been added. But as of right now, the game is still being worked on. There have been patches made, and I would definitely recommend this one for fans of action roguelike design. So with all that said, we're going to wrap up our showcase. You'll find links to all the games down below. Again, if you'd like me to play your game for a future piece, please reach out. Be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and do all that liking, subscribing, and commenting. Come back for daily discussions on game design here, and on game wisdom, where some of the art and science of games.